Blog Talk Radio.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever and whenever you may be listening to us from across the globe. Welcome to another episode of The Doctors Are In, here on the Psychic Talk Radio Network. This is Dax Carlisle. I'm a tarot advisor, numerologist, and life coach coming to you live from Tucson, Arizona. And joining me, as always, is my fabulous co-host. She's a certified life coach as well, spiritual teacher, Dr. Rose Wilkerson, live from Berkeley, California. Hey, Rose, it's another Friday.
Hey, how you doing, Dax?
Oh, pretty good, yeah. Things have been busy of late, but that's always a good thing.
Yeah, same here. My schedule has been really just piling up with stuff, and I started thinking, what in the world did I get myself into? But I do better when I'm busy, to be honest with you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, we're doing a great topic today because we're headed into a weekend of love. In fact, we've got 3 shows, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday this weekend, all relate to Valentine's Day and love and relationships. We're doing Finding Your Soulmate today, but we are still taking phone calls, too, as well. So let me give out the phone number here. We are a live call-in show, so give us a ring at 714-816-4628. And you can also join us on the chat post at psychictalk.com. For every show, we set up a post on our Facebook group, Psychic Talk Radio. And in the comments on those posts, I see Sharona in there. I think Charlotte's around too. You just type in the comments there on that post. You can go to our group, Psychic Talk Radio. But, we have that easier URL set up for you, and we swap out the chat posts, for each day. So when you're going to listen to a show, just before the show, open a new tab in your browser, type in psychictalk.net/chat, and it'll come up for you on Facebook. Of course, you have to be on Facebook, sign into Facebook and everything to make comments. And you can chat with us in the chat room. You can ask questions. You can comment on the show, comment on the topic, your ideas on soulmates, twin flames, finding the romance, and you can also ask for mini readings right there in the chat there. You can ask for some life coaching, some guidance. psychictalk.net/chat. Of course, we would rather chat with you on the phone because it's a lot more fun. And just dial in, 714-816-4628. As soon as you get through, press 1 on your dial pad. That will put you into the caller queue in the order that you called in. And hold your spot, because if you hang up and call back, it'll put you to the bottom of the list there. Now, you can call in just to listen to the show. That's perfectly fine. Dial that number, call in, and then you'll be at the bottom, and we know that you're just listening to the show. Otherwise, press 1 as soon as you get through, 714-816-4628. I went all out today, Rose. I did a whole article on today's numerology and tarot.
Ooh.
Tarot card of the day and so forth. Yeah. I kind of, I started doing that before the end of last year, and I got away from it because crazy stuff was happening. I had a cold for 2 solid weeks where I didn't feel like doing anything, and
right.
That was the middle of January. Yeah. And so I'm going to try to get back to doing these articles on the card of the day. Usually I go deep into the card, describing the card and some things like that. But today I decided to keep it a little bit short. I even used my physical deck. We talk about that a lot on the radio show, how I have my program, and it's much faster for radio. You push a button, it shuffles. You push a button, it puts the cards out. It's fantastic. And by the way, for those wondering, I've been doing it this way for 10 years. On radio, actually 11 years now, and it works. So if you've ever wondered, doing a reading using a non-physical deck, using a computer program or an app or something, does that really work? Yeah, it does. It now, of course, I'm not talking about going in and using an app or a website or somewhere that's going to pop up a computer generated response. You're still doing the reading. It's just how are the cards being picked and displayed. That's the only real difference. And I find no difference between using my physical deck and using the computer program that I have, the Orpheus. It's just faster using the digital one. But today I was like, I'm going to go all out and actually shuffle a real deck, and I decided to use the Llewellyn deck. People are probably familiar with Llewellyn Publishing. They publish a lot of tarot decks. And actually, I was going to mention something about we'll do that later. Anyway, getting off track here. But the Llewellyn deck is a watercolor painted deck, and it's very beautiful. And in fact, you can see it by going to my article, because I took a picture of the card, and there's this really nice satiny comes with it, and I have it laying on top of my spread cloth. The Queen of Wands is the card of the day, and just go over to our website, thetarotguild.com, and click on articles, and you'll find this under articles. It'll say Tarot and Numerology, Friday, February 12th, 2021, the Queen of Wands. That's the article you want. Click on that title. That's actually a link that'll take you into the post, and you'll see the picture towards the bottom. Look for the bluish purple of my spread cloth there. And the deck, it actually has a lot of golds in it, Rose. The bag that comes with it is like a gossamer type material that's gold, with gold drawstrings, with the what do they call those? The tassels at the end, and it's just gorgeous. This is one, along with Ciro Marchetti's decks. This is one of the decks that I always recommend that people get, is the Llewellyn deck. It's very based on Waite Smith, so you're going to recognize the images right away. But they also add, because Llewellyn is Welsh actually, and it has the Wales red dragon on the back. And they use some Welsh mythology, from Wales for the major arcana. So it's real. You definitely get the guidebook. It's really, really cool. And the Queen of Wands, that just fit in perfectly with the numerology for today as well. So the Queen of Wands, it's one of my favorite cards. She's independent and confident, creative, optimistic, beautiful, passionate, sexual, sensual, all those things, right? And the numerology for the date, because it's 2/12/2021, you just add all those numbers across, you get 10. 1 plus 0 is 1. So it's that 1 energy today, the number of new beginnings and independent leadership and self. And that really fits in with the Queen of Wands. She's very independent. And also the day itself, the 12th, 1 plus 2 is 3, so it's that 3 energy, the number of creativity and communication, which, again, the Queen of Wands, very creative. So today, looking at that card of the day and the numerology of the day, I want you to look out for opportunities to be creative today. And also watch your communications with others. Listen more than you speak. And form your thoughts before you do speak, okay? And there's going to be opportunities and ideas that are just going to arise a lot today. Opportunities for you to follow your passion, ideas, especially in regards to like career and business, okay? So be sure to have a notepad and pen handy, or, and nowadays it's the Note app on your device, your phone, whatever. Have the Note app fired up and ready to go, or have a pad and pen handy or pencil, and write down any and all ideas that come to you, even or perhaps especially the ones that seem, Rose, too big, unachievable. No, write them down.
Right.
Write them down. Yeah, you're going to get a lot of inspiration today. So there you go. That's the card of the day, the
Nice.
numerology of the day. That's right. That's right. So here we are in the season of love. And before we get to the phone calls, we want to talk a little bit about finding your soulmate. And, you know, by the way, when I did that title, Finding Your Soulmate, it was rather tongue in cheek, really, because, you know, I'm not a big proponent of soulmates, twin flames, and the whole thing. For me, it's akin to when people come to me and they want me to tell them what their life purpose is, like there's only one. And in reality, it's the opposite. Yes, you can. In reality, you can manifest anything you want as, you know, your passion you want to follow, what it is that is your life purpose. Now, I'll do somebody's numerology chart and report, and I'll pull tarot cards. And, yeah, we can get down to the base information. Numerology is great for that. It'll tell you your strengths and your weaknesses. It'll give us ideas of, you know, career paths that you are, you know, it's not going to be paddling upstream like it is with some other things you might want to do, you know, where you'll be able to just glide along, you know, the stream of life there by getting in alignment with the things that really fit in with your numerology, and then we can pull cards on that and stuff like that. But I don't believe in there being just one, you know, this is the only purpose that I'm here. I think it's what you make it, you know, and it's the same way for me with soulmates. You know, the concept of soulmates came out, and it was like there's this one true person. Yeah, across an entire globe with 7 billion people, you're going to find that one. There's only that one person. I don't believe that at all. And then the modern version. Let's make it even more complicated, Rose. Let's make twin flames now. You've heard of that one, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and some people use those terms interchangeably. I'm excited to hear, you know, what you know, what you know about that is.
And by the way, technically it's not. Technically they're not interchangeable. They are two separate, distinct things. However, I can see why people would do that. It's basically, you know, Soulmates was, you know, the 60s, 70s, and 80s, and Twin Flames, the 90s and the 2000s to today. You know, it's just a new iteration of it. But it does mean a different thing. And, you know, when you go on Google and you search Soulmate and you search Twin Flames, get a ton of information. Everybody has different ideas about it. But, you know, here's what I think the core thing is. The core difference is soulmate is somebody that is in alignment with you energetically, may or may not be from, quote-unquote, the same soul group, which is something that people talk about, the soul groups and so forth. Whereas twin flames is this concept of an individual soul that divides in two, and then those two pieces of the original soul is what inhabits two separate bodies. And look, you're back to the same concept of, okay, there's only that other person out there that has that other half of that soul, and you have to find that one person. Really, folks?
Right.
Really? Anyway, what are your thoughts on that? I want to get your what's your understanding of it?
I would agree with you about there are billions of people, or trillions, or however many number of people are on this planet, and it's crazy to think that there's only one individual out there for you, one out of a billion. You know, that really raises the odds that you'll find that person. And then on top of that, you know, it's very, what if something happens to that person? You know, what if that person was born into this world and died at the age of, you know, the young age or something, and then you're stuck roaming the earth by yourself? I mean, that's kind of tragic. It's more like in alignment with some kind of love tragedy or something. So, no, I think I can understand why people have that perception because they're really thinking in a very, I don't know, particular way. In other words, like I think about my life. Like right now, I have
it's
a
romantic.
relationship.
It's romantic to think
it's
that
romantic.
way, right?
It's that one person that fulfills all your needs. No, that doesn't that doesn't exist. But anyway, what happens is that people, they go through a bunch of bad relationships, and then they find this one person who is very much like them, and they feel, wow, this person can understand me. We like the same things. We talk about the same stuff. We into the same, mostly the same, activities and things of that nature. Oh my God, it's like I found myself, and if you look at it that way, I can understand why people think that there is one person out there. There really isn't one person out there for you. I mean, it would be a cruel joke to actually create the to create us in that way. Like there's only one, so if something happens to that person, then oh well, that's too bad for you. So, but anyway, I've heard about, in terms of soulmates and twin flames, soulmates were more of a general thing. Like you can meet someone that you really connect well with. I've had many experiences like that, and they had nothing to do with love. Just really good friends. There was something about the two of us, where we just really clicked well. Like it's like when you become instant friends. I had a friend, like when I was in junior high school, I was sitting in a class, and this young lady, same age as me at the time, we just kept looking at each other and smiling. And we didn't know each other. We didn't go to the same school previous to that, middle school. And we decided to talk to each other, and we became really good friends. And we've known each other for many, many, many years, even though there was a long period of time after high school and we went to different colleges and whatnot. We haven't known each other. We didn't interact with each other. It's still like a friendship, a familiarity, even now. Even though, like, let's say 10, 15 years went by, we got back into communication with each other, and it's like an old friend, so that can be a soulmate. This is somebody that in some form or fashion is connected to you. I've also heard, now I don't know if this is true, but because you hear so many people use these terms interchangeably, and sometimes it can get confusing, right? Like Dax was saying. But then you have the twin flame issue, and some people are like, twin flame relationships are where you crash and burn. It's like you have these, they're almost like, I don't know, magnets, but somehow it's like this big, like there's a lot of great stuff to it, but it's a relationship where you really have to learn some very hard stuff. Like it's dramatic or traumatic or something. Like I've heard a little bit about that. I've heard people say that twin flame relationships are for learning, not for sustainability in terms of a love relationship. I have no idea if that's true, and I'm happy to say that I haven't met a twin flame. Like, please, I do not need to go through that. But anyway, I have no idea. I mean, I like I like the idea of a soulmate being, there are different people with it who are a part of your soul group, and you will come across a person. Doesn't have to do with love, but you just connect really well. It's like an old friend. Something, maybe you can feel it in your heart chakra. It's just like you really know this person from somewhere, but you actually have never met them before. Those are soulmates. Whether or not you're in a love relationship or not is a totally different thing. Twin flames really have to do more about love and attraction, I think. What do you say about that, Beth? Yeah.
I can see that. Let me piggyback on what you were saying. I think that the compatibility thing, and that's where the numerology comes in really well. See, I think you could find love anywhere with anyone. It's just if you know ahead of time what your strengths and weaknesses are, where your compatibilities are, and where, some of the challenges are, you can make it through almost anything, really,
Yeah.
And thinking of it like you meet this person, oh my God, it's like meeting myself. And, we have all these things in common. Yeah, but is that really a good thing? You see, a lot of the best relationships are when one person grounds the other person or has other interests that the other person doesn't have interest in that can get an interest in, and they grow and develop together. So sometimes it's better, you might be looking at someone's chart and they're a life path, they're very grounded. They're a life path 6 or maybe a life path 9. That's the old souls. That's if you have a 9 life path or a 9 attitude or even a 9 destiny. And this is what we're looking for as numerologists in the charts, And then the other person's a 5. And you know about 5, right? High energy and adventurous spirit. They want to go ride the roller coasters. They want to go, travel and explore the globe and so forth. And a 7, for instance, would be the opposite of that. 7s want alone time, and they need their space, and they're doing their research and doing their thinking because they're big thinkers. 1s, 5s, and 7s are the group of the subgroup of the 9 whole numbers that is all about mind, and thinking and things like that. And so if you have something like that where you have someone, okay, let's say someone that's grounded, that's a 9, and then you've got the other person's a 5. Well, the 5 will drag the 9 or the 7, out of their hole, into reality with the rest of us so they could occasionally have a good time. Also, the opposite is true. When the 5 is being too adventurous or wants to be adventurous all the time, nonstop cruises and trips. Well, maybe not in the era of COVID, but, sometime in the near future, hopefully. The 7 or the 9 or the 6 or what have you, one of the grounded numbers will ground that person to some extent, And then other places in their and then with the 9, other places in their 9 number chart, they might have the 5 energy, which is why they're in alignment with that person. Or maybe one person's attitude number is 4 and the other person has 4 somewhere in their chart or is their attitude. And that's where the connection comes in, you see. So that's what we do when we do a compatibility analysis between 2 charts is we're looking for what's in alignment and what's kind of a challenge there. There are some numerologists that say if your life path are challenge numbers, they actually call them toxic numbers, and they say, yeah, you don't even try to date that person. I don't believe that way. I'm of the school of numerologists that, forewarned is forearmed. We're going to tell you where you're in alignment and instead of calling it toxic, we're going to say, okay, there's a challenge between these 2 numbers. And, this is how you get along. This is how, somebody that has this number, this is how your number's a challenge to that. Well, this is how you're going to communicate, you see, and it'll work then.
Right.
So that's my theory on that. And then, the overarching topic here of, quote unquote, finding your soulmate, which, like I said, that's totally tongue in cheek for me. I don't believe you find anyone. I believe you draw in the right person.
Right.
And for me, it's not about finding that perfect person out there. It's about me becoming the best me I can be and exuding that energy out, exuding the love and exuding, whatever they did. You should start a list of, what you want in a relationship, how you want the relationship to be, what are the things you are doing together, and what is that other person like? Not a specific person. Don't get too specific with, well, he's 5'11", has blonde hair, green eye. I'm talking about what's the attributes they're caring and loving, and they want to spend time with you. All the different character traits, and write that all down, and then but you want to become that person yourself and be sending out that energy so you attract it back in, you see. And I think that a lot of the big problem with quote unquote finding one's soulmate, it's not finding them, it's that you're not ready for them. And also that you're putting up energetic blocks to the universe connecting you with the right people, because you have a lot of these issues, these blocks. And in fact, as an example, one of the big ones is not feeling worthy of your soulmate. So along the lines of, and it might not even be conscious. It might be a subconscious block you're not even really aware of, where you don't feel worthy. And so you're putting that energy out to the universe. Universe, I'm not worthy of having great true love. And so the universe goes, okay, we're not going to send it your way. And there's a lot of great ways to clear these kind of blocks. And one of the best techniques is EFT, emotional freedom techniques. I like to call it energy field techniques, because it's so much beyond just emotions, this technique. And on the show page, for today's show on psychictalk.net, you can go to all the Friday shows. It would be psychictalk.net/Fridays, with an S, psychictalk.net/Fridays, and look for today's show, Finding Your Soulmate. And there's a link there, EFT to feel worthy of your soulmate. And, of course, that's just one of the many possible. I thought it was a great place to start. And that's actually Stefan Gonick. I love his work in EFT, and it's on YouTube. And you just click the link. It'll take you to YouTube, and he'll tell you how to do the tapping on feeling worthy of your soulmate.
Can you put that link in the chat when you get the chance? It doesn't have to be right now, but I would love to take a look at that again.
Oh, yeah. I'll put it in our chat post at psychictalk.net/chat. There we go. I put it in. And it's going to pop up.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's going to pop up in a second here. It's like spinning or something. There we go. EFT to feel worthy of your soulmate. And, if you're listening live right now and you want to, go over to psychictalk.net/chat, join us in the chat. We're actually chatting in the comments underneath the post, folks, here on the group on Facebook. And you can get that link there, or just open up YouTube, type in EFT to feel worthy of your soulmate. And Stefan's video, will pop up there, So that's just one I thought I'd throw out there for everybody. But for me, you want to clear these blocks. That is telling the universe, consciously or subconsciously, that you're not ready for the soulmate. And then you attract them in. And once you've taken care of the blocks with EFT, or maybe you go see an NLP specialist, a hypnotherapist, or do it on your own, there's a lot of stuff on YouTube to help you clear these blocks, folks. And then, in fact, Stephen, I don't know if I'm supposed to say Stephen or Stephen, I forget. Anyway, Gonick, he has a whole free course on attracting in your soulmate, and he's very into the law of attraction like we are. So perfect individual to help you out with these blocks. And then, once you've done that, and now you're sending the right message out to the universe, now you can double down. Remember that list we were talking about, writing down all the attributes of the person you want to attract in. What are you doing? Are you going to drive-ins, or do they have drive-ins anymore? Are you going to the movies? Are you going dancing? Once COVID's over, are you going dancing, karaoke? What are you doing with this person? Are you working in the garden with them? Are you riding roller coasters? The perfect candlelit dinner. Write down all the different things you'd like to be doing. And then what you want to do is build up that, we've talked about it 100 times on the show, folks, build up that 5-sensory immersive visualization. Actually, I like to call it visioneering, because I don't want people to get hooked up with just what it looks like. That's a big part of it, because most of us, especially in the Western world, we're very visual, but there's auditory folks out there. There's kinesthetic folks. You want to get all the 5 senses involved here. What does it smell like and sound like and taste like and feel like and look like? So you're creating like a 360-degree holographic, 3-dimensional, what's it like, and put yourself, take 5 or 10 minutes a day and visualize this, or visioneer it, like I like to say, visioneer it, and, maybe have a different scene each time. Here we're at the candlelit dinner, and here we're down by the harbor, and here we're going to the movies, and here we're watching Netflix at home, which is what most people are doing because of COVID. And,
Right.
So now you're becoming proactive, and you're attracting that person, and you're not searching the person down. It's not finding your soulmate. It's attracting them in. Now, does that mean you can sit on your lazy chair in your house and they're mysteriously going to show up, knock on your door, send you a message on Facebook? No. Obviously, you have to actually get out there and meet people, And even in the times of COVID, there's a lot of ways to meet people. We talked about compatibility and having things in common. Well, start off with one of the things you'd like to have in common. Find a group or groups online that discuss that. Maybe they have live meetings on Zoom or something like that, and you get to meet people and communicate with people. And and get, meetup.com is one that I used to always tell people, go to meetup.com. There might not be many of those meetings happening depending on, where you live in the world or where you live in the U.S., but there are a lot of areas have opened up more, and things like that are happening. So, you do have to, like when we went over the 4 steps of manifestation, the last step is the material realm. It's taking action.
Acting as if. Right.
Actually doing something physically. You can't just sit there and the Maserati's going to show up in your driveway. You got to go down to the dealership, test drive. Yeah.
If you can manifest that, I would love to know what that technique is.
Exactly. Yeah. So for me, it's more attracting in the soulmate. And what about you? What's some ways to find your soulmate that you have in your tool chest there?
For me, I really go with working with archetypes, gods, goddesses, angels, because for me, like, I love the law of attraction and the concept of it, and I think there's a lot to value. But I also believe that sometimes there are things that are going on within people's minds that they're not always conscious of. Like you said, it could be subconscious. It could be below the level of what they know is going on. It's just because of the mind works and I guess psychology or something like that. But anyway,
often, yeah.
My experience is it kind of goes back to what you were talking about in terms of EFT. It's really the energy, your frequency. That you don't really have to go out and find, like, okay, let me go look under the bush, let me go to the library, let me go and do all these activities that maybe you really don't have interest in, but you're doing it just to do something to get out there, and that's not what you want to, how you want to approach things. You want to do what you love, do what you're into, and but it's really about your frequency. And so when I think of frequency, for me personally, I go back to mantras. There's a mantra for that, right? Dax and I were talking about, we had to do a show there's a mantra for that. And there's all, mantras are, Sanskrit mantras in particular, are very, any ailment, any problem that you have, physical, spiritual, emotional, psychological, there's a mantra that can help with that. I'm not saying, chant a mantra and don't go to the doctor. That's not what I'm saying. But there's that there is a frequency, a sound that can help you with that. To me, archetypes, gods, goddesses, angels, divine beings, whatever you want to call them, they operate on a frequency. They're about sound. It's a frequency that you can tune into. Some people do it with their psychic abilities. Maybe they see them, maybe they hear them, or they sense them or feel them or something like that. But that when you are dealing with the issue of love, especially if just the past relationships have been nothing going on, or you've been single for an extremely long time and really can't see a way differently in some form or fashion, chant a mantra. One good mantra to use is Kleem, and that's K-L-E-E-M. I've talked about this mantra before. I don't know what show it was, but we didn't write that down. But sometimes people spell it K-L-I-M, Kleem. Kleem is an attraction mantra, and also it's been known to attract what you're looking for. But you got to be careful about how you use that. We've had plenty of people. I used to manage community groups, and we would, do mantra challenges. We're chanting a mantra for so many days. And so many people have chanted Kleem, and I'm getting all this attention from men or women I don't want attention from. Yeah, that's because you haven't, like Dax was saying, you're not clear about what you want. And sometimes it's an opportunity for you to say, I do not want that. I do not want that kind of person, right? Kleem, but you have to be really clear about the person that you're looking for, the qualities of the individual, not the specific person. Okay, so why do we say not the specific person? The thing is that we can get very stuck in our minds about a person. I can't tell you how many stories I've read. I'm in love with this person, this woman, and she's not giving me any attention, or she's going for some other man, and I'm so upset. Or I was with my boyfriend, and then he decided to leave me and go for somebody else, and I want him back, and I want blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, wait a minute, hold up. First of all, if it was meant for you to be together, you guys would be together, okay? Do not go after people that are not in your spectrum, that are not paying attention to you, that are not showing you any kind of sense of friendship or love or anything like that. That is not a person for you to go for. But I understand, folks, sometimes it's a biological reaction. I don't know if it's because your hormones are going haywire or whatever's going on. Maybe it's a karmic issue. I don't know. But you do not want to focus on a particular person. What you want to do is to focus on the characters, because let me tell you something, especially if you're what you're looking for is outer, more of a physical kind of thing, this color hair, this kind of build, that gets old real quick in a relationship. Are the green and blue eyes with the blonde hair going to help you when one of your parents passes away or when a close friend passes away? Who cares about your eyes and your hair color? You know what I mean? I mean, you want the person to be physically blah, you don't want, but you have to really think about the kind of attributes you want the person to be: generous, loving, compassionate, someone who's really there for you, who cares about you, a caring person. There's so many different attributes. But anyway, going back to what I was talking about is that sometimes because we may not be in tune with what those kind of qualities are in our own lives for whatever reason, I always say chant a mantra, chant Kleem, but you have to be really clear about the kind of person that you want. And if you're getting attention from someone who you don't want attention with, then you say clearly, before your chanting session, this is not, I want this kind of person. I'm not paying attention to these other folks that are coming around, these other candidates that do not, are not a part of the list of qualities that I'm looking for. Let's put it that way. The other option to do, again, this is working with, mantras are typically associated with, like I said, sound frequencies, if you look at it from the scientific side, but also with archetypes, gods, and goddesses. I did a show back in August, or Dax and I both did it together. I think it was August 17th in 2020 about shamanic journeying in the upper world. And the upper world in shamanic journeying is kind of like the domain of the divine beings, gods, goddesses, angels, etc., celestial beings and things of that nature. And I believe that if there is a particular, let's say, angel archetype or goddess, god, that deals with the frequency of love, and you're more inclined, let's say you're a person who's more inclined to want to be in contact with a divine being, then I would highly recommend that you do that. You develop a relationship with the being, right? You don't just go over there and say, "Hey, give me this and that." The other, it's like going to somebody's house in your neighborhood and, "Hey, can you give me some cheese and crackers, please? Thanks." And see you later, goodbye. But you develop a relationship with that archetype. You can do it by lighting a candle if you have an image. It's really great to work with imagery. So if you have an image of that, of the archetype of love in whatever form that is for you, make sure the image is looking out at you and you can look into its eyes. And you can light a candle, pray to it, do a shamanic journeying, like I was saying, to the upper world, and talk to them and just say, "I want to develop a relationship with you. I am trying to change some things, but I'm having difficulty doing it myself." Why do I say to do something like that? Because I believe that is what helped me. I actually have found this wonderful man who we are so similar in so many ways. It's remarkable. He's not as spiritual as I am. He's more scientific, but I can also cross those like scientific lines when we talk about, spirituality, spiritual practices, and things of that nature. But anyway, and it's amazing how we found each other. Like I've been, I'm a gamer. I love to game, and I actually stream on Twitch from time to time. And actually, my brother and I were playing this particular game, and my brother was streaming at the time. And so he's my boyfriend now. We haven't gotten together physically because of the pandemic. If you haven't heard, it's been going on. But he was watching the stream, and he said, "Hey, do you guys need some help? I would love to help you." And we're like, "Sure," right? And he really did help us out. And what was really interesting is that he and I became really good friends because I love that particular game. My brother went on and started playing a different video game, but that was the one I loved. And so, this guy said, "Hey, whenever you're on, just let me know and we'll play." And we were playing together. It was just like it did feel like a match made in, it does feel like a match made in heaven, Dax. I'll just tell you because so this happened in last March. And, in March, that's when they started to do the quarantine, right? Stay at home, all that kind of stuff. We're still in it now, but that's when all that started. I was also teaching at the time, and so I had to teach from home. And I was in such a bliss in video gaming and enjoying my, relationship with Jürgen, that his name is Jürgen, it's George in German, and that I barely remember what happened last semester. Like I started thinking about this a few weeks ago. It's like, did I actually give an exam? How did I don't have much of a memory because I was having so much fun, gaming at nighttime, and I was doing work during the day. And then we just had this bond, and we started talking and realized, what we feel for each other, and that we have so many things in common, the way that we think, the things that we enjoy. There's this real connection, a real friendship that's there. And I go into that. I say that because the fall of 2019, I did some shamanic journeying, the upper world, and I contacted one of the archetypes of love in the ancient Egyptian pantheon, and that's Het Heru, or Hathor, as she's known by her Greek name. And she is the embodiment of love and also dance and some other things. And
also the goddess of tarot. Just thought I'd throw
really?
that in there. Yes,
I didn't
she is.
know that. Oh, wow.
Hathor.
Wow, okay. I had no idea. That's new. Okay, well, we'll have to talk about that. But which is great. But I was doing a lot of shamanic journeying to talk with her, and I had a conversation with her about this whole love life. I was like, look, I understand that I have this calling to help people and be out there like as a life coach, as a Vedic practitioner, as a, all these things to really help people, but I can't do it when I'm stuck with trying to, look for or trying to get into a relationship and all these kind of things, all these problems that I'm having. I said I can't fulfill my role because I'm having these issues, and it's keeping me from really moving forward. And so that was just one of the conversations that I had with her, and there were many others that had nothing to do with love. But I'm telling you, from about, I would say, I think it was around October of 2019, March of 2020, that's when I met Jurgen. And, yeah, it was a few months or whatnot, but, things have to work out. It's really about, for me, shamanic journeying is not just, living in the land of, imagination. This is a real realm. It's a real experience, regardless of whether even if it doesn't feel like the experience of being on the earth plane, the whole physical sensations and things of that nature, it is still a realm. Or you could say it's deep within your conscious, deep within your subconscious that this is being created. It's still a real realm. It's the same thing like, if you have a very vivid dream and you wake up and you're kind of disoriented, like, where am I? Am I here? Am I still in the dream? What's going on? That's still real. Your mind doesn't know the difference about what is real and what isn't anyway, right? So we're the ones that, with our conscious mind, our egos are saying, well, this is real and this is not real. But really, your subconscious doesn't have that distinction. All things these are real experiences. But anyway, me working with this archetype of love, I believe, really changed things and sent out a different frequency, because Jurgen is unlike most men that have approached me, and then, to be honest with you, I wasn't even, when he started, he went through a little period of time where he was acting in a particular way, and I was like, what's going on? Why you're acting like we're in a relationship? And I just wanted to play and have fun. And I suddenly, then I had to realize that I was attracted to him, but I was kind of, doing a little bit of a denial thing. But anyway, that's just a part of the story. And it's just to say, I wasn't technically looking for love. I was going to leave it in the hands of the goddess. That's where I was. I'm like, she's going to have to find a way, because I can't.
Yeah, and then it happened.
Right. And then it happened. That's right. So I'm sorry, I'm going on and on about this, but I wanted to really share that this is it's very possible. It really is changing your energetic pattern. Some of you may be into EFT, or you want to try that, then obviously do that. And you can use the law of attraction in terms of the 5 ways of manifestation. Or if you're more inclined to work with divine beings, go that route. You can do that through the shamanic journeying. I put the in our post on Facebook, I put the link to the show where I actually provided a meditation of going into the upper world, if you need one, if you need that kind of guidance. So it's there.
Right, and all those shows that you discussed before, especially the shamanic journeying and everything, all this is in our archives, folks. You just go to psychictalk.net/Fridays, and you can scroll back through, and there's multiple pages. So when you get to the end, don't forget to, go to the next page and keep going till you find it. Or you can just use the search box and search shamanic or journeying or shamanic journeying, and those shows will pop up. There is a search box on the right-hand side at the very, 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 very bottom there. Yeah. And you can also use, you can use tarot magic, manifesting with tarot. But, okay, that's a whole nother radio show. We don't have time to get into that. We got to get to the phone calls and the upcoming shows. And we had too much fun with this topic. But I did want to say one last thing before we go to the calls about your story. What I loved about your story was that I was talking about taking action in the physical realm towards your goal. In this case, attracting in the soulmate, and you have to, actually get out there. And with the pandemic, makes it hard. But here's a great example of how people are still connecting during the pandemic. I mentioned, finding groups and things like that, but through games, people are connecting through live, games. And also, the other thing I wanted to mention about your story was, did you notice how, and when it actually happened, it was when you were in your joy playing the game. It wasn't the searching for the soulmate, and then that, what does that do? That puts your attention on what you not what you don't want to attract in, but it puts your attention back onto the lack, and then you're sending that information out to the universe. You know, this is totally unconnected in any way to quote unquote finding romance, but you were in your joy, and then it happened when you least expect it. That's another thing. It happens when you stop thinking about it, you put it out to the universe, and then you stop thinking about it and just stay in your joy. And it happens when you least expect it. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah. Oh gosh, yeah. We'll have to do a whole story, also show on that story about the goddess of Tarot. Actually, the actual one is Hecate or Hecate, or there's like 30 different ways to pronounce it. Right. And in fact, if you look at the logo for Tarot Today Radio, tarot is spelled out where the O is Hecate's wheel. Okay. But on the Wheel of Fortune card, the wheel spins and it has these letters, and depending on which direction you're going and what letter you're starting with, you get a whole bunch of different words, which I won't go into right now. We'll do a whole show on it, But one of them is Hathor, which is Hathor.
Really? Oh yeah, I would love to learn more about that.
And then
that's great.
And then Hecate, it's from Greek mythology, but she's kind of the Greek version of Hathor, you see. So there you go. We'll do it. It gives us another topic, you know.
Yes.
We could do a whole show on Goddess of Tarot. Yeah, we'll definitely do that. So. Real quick before we go to the phone calls, what's coming up on the network, Rose?
Yes. So, okay. So what we have here, I had to get to the page first. Our shows are at 11 a.m. typically, except for one particular show that's changed its time, and we'll talk about that as it comes. But the following shows are air at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. Tomorrow, Dr. Dax will be hosting a show with Mary Brown doing Tarot Today Radio. And they're going to be talking about love and relationship-themed decks and more. That's exciting because for people who read the tarot, it's always interesting to find out people's with the tarot readers' experiences with different spreads and what kind of decks they use. So you want to make sure you catch that show tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. And on Sunday at the same time, guess what? It is Happy Valentine's Day. Well, actually, it'll be Happy Valentine's Day when it clicks midnight on February 14th, right? But at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, Sharona Rapsick is doing Love Magic plus open lines, Angel Reiki, and free tarot reading. So if you are needing a little bit of magic on Valentine's Day, love magic, make sure that you can connect with Sharona Rapsick's show, The Magic Universe. On Monday at the same time, we have Wisdom of the Soul with Janice Fuchs. And then on Wednesday, our Wednesday show, the Compassionate Light Healing and Guidance Hour, has changed its time. Okay, it's not going to be at 11 a.m. It's going to be at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. So please remember that Wednesday, the Compassionate Light Healing and Guidance Hour with Catherine Hahn will be at 4 o'clock on the Pacific Coast and 7 p.m. on the Eastern Coast. And she's doing a show this coming week called Living the Life That You Are Meant to Live. That's a really great topic. Oh, I can't wait to listen to that. And then next Friday, of course, we have The Doctors Are In with yours truly and Dax and Dr. Dax. And we are doing an open lines life coaching and tarot mini reading show. So The topic will be open, and, if you want a reading or whatnot or some life coaching advice, make sure that you connect with us next Friday, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. And all of these shows, our upcoming shows, can be found at psychictalk.net/upcoming, UPCOMING. So if you ever want to know, what's coming up on our shows, please go to psychictalk.net/upcoming, and it'll tell you everything that's coming up. Right through March. Yeah, we have all the way up to March 27th for today. So, yeah, we're always planning ahead.
Actually, the 27th is a recurring show that I just threw in there, but I do have all the shows through February and going into March all the way halfway through the month to the 14th.
Cool.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
Okay.
And
that sounds great.
And I did want to mention next week after the Friday show, when we have Tarot Today Radio on Saturday, February 20th, we have certified tarot reader John Allen coming on. John has been a long-time member of the Tarot Guild going back to like 2010. And
wow.
We're going to be talking tarot. Yeah, we're going to catch up with John, and he's an expert in historical decks and the Lenormand as well as tarot, and it's going to be a great show. So I just wanted to mention that once, send out a plug about that. And, yes, we continue through the whole weekend, this weekend, with more love and romance and Valentine's weekend shows, So if we don't get to your call today, remember, you can call in tomorrow. I'll be on with Mary. You can call in on Sunday with Sharona. We're going to be doing free readings on all these shows, and it could be relationship readings, or they don't have to be. You could ask whatever you want. Yeah. But a shameless plug, I do want to throw in that I do have a Valentine's weekend special going. It is a Valentine's couples tarot and numerology package, Rose, that I put together.
Okay.
And, we were talking about how I use the numerology and do the two full charts and do a compatibility analysis. So this package includes those two reports, you and a significant other or someone that you would like to be a significant other. And I'll do the full charts. You're going to learn about your personal year number for 2021 and important details about your life and life purpose, career, relationships, strengths, weaknesses, tendencies, all that fun stuff. Then I'm going to do a compatibility analysis between the two charts and look at the strengths and weaknesses and the challenges and areas of alignment, how your personal year cycles line up. And as if that wasn't enough, doing the two full custom numerology charts, which, by the way, I handcraft those. This is not computer generated. I do it all by hand. And then I'm going to include a session with me, tarot, numerology, life coaching. You can use the session to gain further insight into that relationship, or maybe you have a completely different area of your life you want to go into: family life, finances, career, your goals for 2021, spiritual development, home life, combination of those. The time is yours, folks, however you'd like to use it. It's a $134 value, and I'm taking 40% off. It's just $77. And you'll find it on thetarotguild.com. And you'll see links all over the place, but the easiest way to do it is to do all lowercase and type in, because the website's been hinky lately, Rose, where it doesn't want to take the capital letters for some reason. I don't know. Weird things going on with the website. But open a new tab in your browser and type in thetarotguild.com/love. thetarotguild.com/love. And grab that special before the end of the weekend when it goes away. And I'm going to pop that in our chat post for everybody on there live right now. I'll pop that in. There we go. And today's show, of course, as always, is sponsored by the Tarot Guild. You can come over to the website, thetarotguild.com, and you can become an associate member of the Guild free. You just sign up for the website, and boom, you are an associate member. You can use all the features of the website, and we have a professional membership as well, and you'll find that at thetarotguild.com/join, or just go to the website, and I have the quick links there. You can click join, and you can learn tarot, and you can get certified all through the Tarot Guild, thetarotguild.com. Okay.
That's wonderful.
So let's see. I don't know if we have any callers left. I think they all slipped away while we were chatting.
Yeah, I guess so.
But that's okay, too, because it takes us right to the top of the hour.
Mm-hmm.
When the show's supposed to end. Yeah. I thought this was a great show. I loved the conversation on finding your soulmate. We got into a lot of different areas and great information.
And different things that people can do to attract the soulmate. Maybe we should have called it Finding Your Soulmate ? That would have been good. But yes, it's all about attracting, having that frequency, being in your joy, your bliss. You know, it's generating that feeling. Well, there's a good. Let me offer one more other thing, because there's a good way to generate feelings if what we talked about didn't quite do it for you. Let's say you have a very best friend, and let's say it's, I don't know, 3 or 5 months from now, and you found what you would call your soulmate, the ideal partner or whatnot, and you're really happy and whatnot. You can do what you can do. And it's probably better to do this on paper as it is rather than do this on computer. But write a letter to your friend and saying, "Oh my God, I met this wonderful guy. Oh my God, I met this wonderful woman, and she is blah blah blah. Let me tell you how this happened. Blah da 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 da. And then we got together, and we've just been together for the past 3 months. Doing all these cool activities, and I can really talk to her. I can really talk to him. They really get me, and I get them. They're very generous, blah, blah, blah. That will create a sense of energy that you can really feel. I don't mean energy in some, just like in a spiritual way, but you can actually sense this. It really does a shift. That's another thing that you can do is you would write the letter of the future, something that you would write to your best friend or someone that you're close to. Just saying, "Oh, I met this great person, and this is how we met." You will actually feel that. Especially, I've done that at nighttime. Oh my God, you can just feel that energy, and you radiate that even when you go to sleep. The ideal thing is to do it before you go to bed, because when you wake up, you'll still feel it, and that also creates a shift as well. So there's another little tip for you, for people out there.
That's just awesome. There's a lot of ways to do it, and you can piggyback on previous past feelings when you've had that feeling, because we've all had those times where it's like we felt like we met the one, and and maybe they didn't turn out to be the one, but you could still maybe tap into that feeling.
That felt like.
And bring yourself back into that state again. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Yeah. All righty. Well, great show, Dr. Rose. Can't wait for next week. We're doing open lines, I think, all show long.
Yes, we are. So it's going to be exciting. And you guys be sure to check out the upcoming shows at psychictalk.net /upcoming. Find out. It's still the Valentine's Day weekend, and love is still possible. So you want to make sure you check out our shows this weekend, too, and tune in.
Yes. Well, goodbye, everybody. I'll be chatting at you tomorrow. And goodbye, Dr. Rose.
Goodbye, Dr. Nat. Bye, everybody.
Have a great weekend. Happy Valentine's Day.